Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be just kind of wrapping up my little series of Call of Cthulhu base game core rulebook videos by just taking you through some of the basics. Now, Call of Cthulhu isn't really what many sort of role-playing people would consider to be a rules-heavy game. In fact, it's quite a straightforward game, but I'm going to take you through some of the basic things, being skill checks and combat, and just how the experience system works. And the stuff that I show you in this video should be enough to get you going. But what's important to know is that Call of Cthulhu isn't really about combat. It's not about buffing up your character and becoming the most insane badass there is. It's about telling stories. And it's entirely possible to have Call of Cthulhu games that have no combat in them whatsoever. The way you measure success in a game of Call of Cthulhu is really, have you told the best and most intriguing and entertaining story that you could. But there are occasions when you will need to do combat and you will need to make skill checks, obviously at the discretion of your keeper or your games master. So I'm going to take you through a few things, and the first one is going to be a skills test. So your investigator skills are found here in the middle of the page, and as you gain experience you can sort of add particular bonuses and improvements to these skills like you would with anything else where you level it up. But the difference is when you do something and you pass the skill check, you succeed, then your keeper will tell you to put a little check mark to it, like you can see I've done here for library use. And what that means is that you've succeeded at using that task, and then after a while, normally at the end of a session, the keeper will say, okay guys, you're going to roll for experience, and then for all the statistics where you have those checks, you're going to roll, and if you roll higher than what you already have, you'll add extra sort of bonus percent to the particular skill. So what's nice about that is that the better you are at something, the harder it is to improve, because obviously the less your chances are of rolling higher. So here I rolled 72 for my library use, so in that case I wouldn't be able to add any additional percent to that particular skill. So that's skill points and how you upgrade them. To pass a skill check, basically you'll say, alright, I'm going to look in the library and see if I can find any information on a particular topic. So the keeper will then go through the list of skills, and he'll say, okay, the most apt one or the most appropriate one would be library use. Now you see here you've got a base chance of 25, so even if you add nothing to that skill when you're making your character, everyone has at least a chance of 25% of success. But you can see here I've upped mine to 75. So I need to roll 75 or lower on a D100. So if I roll now, you see I rolled 16, so that would be a success. So I would succeed at using my library skill. And then in all likelihood, the keeper would say, okay, put a little check mark next to library use. And that's what these blocks are here for. So that's skills and really the differences between a success and a fail. The next thing here is combat. Now I'm just going to go over very basic melee combat. And combat is really quite straightforward in Call of Cthulhu as opposed to a lot of other role-playing games. Basically, your initiative is determined by your dexterity stats. So we go in order of dexterity, basically. The person with the highest dexterity will then go, and you look down here at your weapons and your weapon skills, and you see, say my character over here, Valerie Watson, say for example she wanted to kick someone, kick him in the balls. Now you can see you've got a base chance of 25, but I've upped that to 50. So I need to roll 50 or lower on a D100 to succeed. So I rolled 74, so then she would miss in that case. I'm just going to keep rolling until, there we go, 14. So that's a success. So in the event of a success, that's done. So now we go over here and we do 1d6 plus db damage. Now db is your damage bonus, and your damage bonus you'll find up here at the top of your character sheet. You can see I have 0 damage. So let's go. So she would just do 2 damage in that example. Not very good. Obviously, if the your opponent has got any special sort of armor or anything that would help to reduce the damage, that would then be accounted for at that point. The last thing I want to do is take a look at the resistance table. Now, the resistance table you'll use a lot when you're making it. It's kind of a skill check, but it's almost a characteristics check. So say, for example, I have a strength of 7, and the keeper says, all right, you're going to bash down a door that has a strength of 2. So the way we work out how to roll for that is we come over into our core rulebook, and this is kind of the most important page in the whole rulebook. It's the resistance table. So say the door had a strength of 2 and I've got a strength of 7. So 7 would be what we call the active characteristic. So we come over to here, we go over to 7. So there's our active characteristic, and the passive characteristic is down the column vertically. So we go down to 2, and you can see where 7 and 2 coincide, that's my percent chance at a success. So if you look here, if we pull back a little bit, anything in this range is an automatic success. So if I have a strength of 31 and I'm trying to break down a door with a strength 2, he automatically breaks through. You don't even need to roll for it. It's just so obvious. And the converse also applies. Down here is our range of automatic failure. So if I've got a strength of 1 and I'm trying to bash down a door with a strength of 29, I'm going to automatically fail. Obviously, I'm a weakling. I'm a wimp. I'm a wuss. So if we look at that example there, I have a 75% chance at succeeding in breaking down the door. We come over here, grab our D100 again, and you're going to be using a lot of D100 in this game. The dice you'll be using the most by far is the D100. So if we roll it, I get a 98. So even though I'm a tough potato, I still don't succeed in knocking down a door. So fuck knows what's going to happen when I run into Cthulhu.